Hey, what's up, guys? This is T-Bone here. So, welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. And today, what I want to do is I want to give my review on the event that just passed, which is called Knights of Meido. Now, this event was a Light Slayer event, and I would have to say that it was quite challenging for most people, and myself included, because I didn't actually have any of the killer skills. I didn't have the Swine Lord Strike Team, which was the first Light Slayer killer skill with Immortal Killer, and I also didn't get this event deck. But I did actually have a relatively strong team. If you think about what I have, from a Light Slayer perspective, I had all the other Slayers, and the two that I used the most were Relentless Scholars and Enlightened Yokai. So because I had these two decks with really strong cards to support them, I was able to at least compete during the Eternal bosses. Now the challenge here is anything that's not Eternal basically one shot you even with 3 keys, right? So you needed to have May's ability to have an immunity and also revive. So if you had that card, then you were probably then you would have been better off, and you were probably doing a lot better. But without it, it was essentially a struggle to get anywhere point wise. And so the best strategy then is to just tag the World Eternal bosses for 3 keys, because you get participation bonus, and also if you can rally out, you get a lot of rally scores. In fact, it's not even worth trying to spend time to attack those bosses. Simply just tag and make sure you can rally out, and then you'll get at least 100 somewhat billion trophies, which is what will allow you to stay afloat in whatever league you're in. And so that's sort of the reality of this particular event. The changes that took place. Right? If you take a look at the changes that did take place for this event, I want to take a look at their changes, right? And so the thing that they said that they did was to make frenzy bosses come back. So frenzy bosses was available, and that was a good thing. So that was a good thing in a couple of ways, because it allowed us to get together again for set times that people were used to. However, what I didn't like about it was the fact that when you had the frenzy bosses, they didn't actually add to anything in terms of our rewards. So if you took a look at the event here, if you take a look what they've done, they essentially gave the top 150 guilds rewards for the frenzy participation. And the idea here is to allow people to get something out of it so that they feel like there is something that they can work towards. However, it didn't help anyone to really get additional rewards that frenzies used to provide. And if you take a look at the actual rewards that you could get from the collections, it was not very good. Right, so if we take a look at the collections, we continue to have this kind of issue. So the collections wise, at the very, very end of this, you get a Light Essence 5. And then we get these different crates for evolutions. And basically that is the extent of what we get. So if you did participate in the frenzies, while it's good in terms of getting people together to try and take down a boss, which helps morale, it didn't do much else. And the fact that the rewards that were separate for the rewards that were separate for frenzies, the fact that they were only available to the top 150 guilds, I feel is really just not enough. Not nearly enough to really sort of make this a fun experience. It should have been a system where every single guild that participated should have gotten something. And so the fact that only 150 guilds got this is really something that I feel is very disappointing. From a player's perspective, they bring back something good, but then they don't make it good enough. They don't actually bring back any rewards to anybody. Like, it would have been nice to just say, hey, even if you didn't get to the top 150 guilds, here's a little something for the fact that you participated. Otherwise, what really is the point? What really is the reason to do that? And so while there was something good, it also wasn't done very well. And if you take a look at if you take a look at additional feedback, I'm going to look at the ones from this past event first, right? So those were the immediate changes, and they were also distributing keys, right? Guild keys. Now, in my personal opinion, guild keys wasn't too big of an issue if you could handle the small solo bosses, and then participate in the guild bosses to sort of give yourself more solo keys. If you're in a stronger guild, then that shouldn't have been a problem. But I think that this is an issue for the smaller guilds, or if you're not full, if you don't have a team of hitters. Keys was an issue. That's why they needed to give out keys. So this is a continual discussion. And I think there's going to be two sides to this. Like, there's going to be people that will enjoy the fact that there's less keys, and there are going to be people who are really struggling. Me myself, I feel like they're adjusting. Like, it doesn't need to be where it was, where we get thousands of keys by the end of the event, but I think maybe a little bit more would ease the pain for those who are struggling to get it. So from a keys perspective, I think that it was okay. It was not too bad. Boss difficulty, I think anything that is non-eternal essentially is a no-go for even my team, and I could barely get any points off of them. And so it's still not quite right. And also, from a health perspective, the health is too high for the way that the amount that they damage, right? So it's still not quite there, and this still heavily favors people who have the team. So far, the two things that we talked about: rewards not good, and the frenzy is good, but the rewards that associate from it is not good. The boss still isn't. It's a little better, but it still hits too hard for too much health for the team that we have. So far, those are the three. And, they're talking about things like incoming quality of life changes for the guilds. So you're going to get something like announcement for guild chat, which I think is a good change. A lot of people oftentimes would like to be able to pin or make an announcement for certain things, and we've had to rely on outside chat. So I think that this is actually a good thing. And I think this is going to be for all guild pages. So that is something that I'm looking forward to. And they're still fine tuning, but some of the things that I think that they really missed the mark on for this past event, and also based on their notes for the next event, I feel like they just completely missed the mark on, is the fact that if you're a new player, or if you're a low spender to a free player, low spender, etc., they've really, really screwed up the way that we now actually get to play with our cards that we earn, and that is specifically the support card. So I got Leica the Swift Lancer just from the free collection. I didn't even bother buying 2 tiers of the Ultra Pack to get the second one, because I know that I couldn't earn enough to actually evolve them. I have this at 5 stars, and this is what I did. I actually got just enough of these evolution tokens to get it to 6 stars, but then I didn't, because I knew that after the event was over that it would be converted, so that I just need to upgrade it using coins, using gold. And I was hoping to be able to do something like this. I was hoping to be able to evolve my card at the end of the event, so that I could actually get a 6-star support card plus enough of the evolution coins to be able to actually earn a 25% chance to get a hero. Right, it would have been a 25% chance to get either Ilona, or it could have been a Persona of Power, it could have been Rampaging AUI, or it could have been the event card Energy Angel Coronado. And this is how it used to be, right? When they first introduced the concept of earning a 25% chance of a hero, they made it so that you just had to play to collect enough trophies and had the support card at 6 stars, and you had 25% chance to get something. And now they've basically taken that away. This has now been the consistent sort of expectation that you would get the support card to 6 stars, and also you would have enough of the tokens. My problem right now is the tokens. The tokens are so ridiculously scarce that if you played through the entire collection, if you got the entire collection, which I did, I still came up short. I actually came up short after collecting all of the evolution coins from the collection to evolve my support card to 6 stars. I couldn't evolve it to 6 stars, a single support. And so there's no way that I would be able to then try to get the 25% card here. So what I did was I actually bought 1 tier of the Ultra Pack, because at 1 tier, what it does give you is it gives you 10 coin price spins. All right. And then tier 2 gives you 12, so you're supposed to get more of these evolution coins. And so what they're really saying is you need to actually, spend on the packs, which in general, if you're looking for a couple of tiers with the reduced pack prices, it sounds good in theory, but the problem here is it has completely taken away from one of my favorite ways to play this game in the past, and that is this meta that I used to go with, and that is two supports. So if you think about it, when you go to tier 2 of a ultra pack, you get one support card, and then you get another support card from playing through the game. So you get two support cards, but then buying two tiers of the ultra pack plus going through all of the collection isn't going to get you enough tokens to upgrade both support cards to 6-star and also have a chance at earning the the 25% collection, hero collection. And so to me, this is where I think that they've gone way too far with limiting progress. And I'll tell you, the feedback I got from why they introduced mechanic is so that it would encourage players to actually play through the event. And I don't have a problem with that, but this particular event, having gone through like pretty much purely free to play and I bought only one pack, I can tell you that it is impossible. It is impossible to evolve the cards and get what is being offered in the game without actually spending more than I am willing to, right? So if I don't actually go multiple packs in the in the multiple tiers in the pack, there's no way I can get two support cards to 6-star. And this is where I question the design idea. There is this pain mechanic of reducing the speed of progress, which I see in all the video games. So this game has a ton of those. We have energy, so there's a concept of stamina, right? Stamina to limit the progress that we can make in our campaign, so that we can't farm too many things. There is also a lot of limitations on the actual catalysts that we have to evolve. So look at some of these things that we need to farm for. Look at the wardens. The fact that we can't actually get our wardens to pass one pink star because of things that are essentially unavailable to all of us. Like if you take a look here, these are all pain mechanics to reduce progress, right? And the basic concept here is, well, we want you to be able to play through the game. We don't want you to basically evolve to the max like right at the beginning of the event and basically stop playing. So that's sort of like the idea. But then what happens when progress just completely stops? What happens when the game just introduces the mechanic to the point where they basically tell you you can't make any more progress no matter what you do? What happens then? People move on. People move on from games that they can't make progress in, and this is essentially the place where the game has gotten to. I have every single ultimate form in the Light Slayer event except for one killer skill, and I couldn't make good enough progress to actually do well in the event. Can you imagine what a new player is going to face? And this is where I strongly disbelieve in the sort of this particular design. And look at the ultra coin. The fact is they have a regular evolution coin and then they have the ultra coin. There were people who got the ultra rare card and could not evolve it at all because no matter what they did with VIP and also with buying packs, they couldn't actually get the ultra coin to evolve the ultra rare card. Is that really what you want your players to experience? I don't think so. I think that this is where they've completely missed the mark, and they continue to refuse to address this issue. All the changes that they've made is going in a better direction, but until they fix this, until they fix the part where people can't even make progress on the cards that they have to play, I don't see this being any better. So let's take a look at now what some of the new things that they're going to be updating. Because to me, these are things that are going in the right direction, but unless they address the most critical one, nothing is going to stick. People aren't going to be happy. So this is what they're doing now. For the upcoming event, they're going to bring back the following things. They're going to bring back Overkill, Ultra Kill, and Secret Bosses for the Crusade event, which means we will be able to skip levels if you can get the overkill bonus. And you're going to be able to, if you have the right team, then you'll be able to take out these bosses for a lot of score, a lot of points. But what if they don't address the fact that we can't get the team, right? Because we still cannot get the ultimate form based on the current pack structure, where they put the main card at tier 6, which is really out of the price range for many people, and they make it so that it's nearly impossible for you to evolve your cards so that you can actually get, get something here. All right. And so all of these things that in combination are those two things, the pack prices and the fact that you can't get anything good and you can't evolve at all, means that people aren't going to have strong enough teams to really do anything. So it comes down to a pay to win model that is exclusively pay a lot to win. Okay, this isn't just a pay a little bit and block yourself a little bit and then make progress. This is pay a lot to hopefully get an opportunity to get the right cards so that you can actually do what's needed to take down these overkill bosses and these ultra kill bosses and whatever else that they throw at us. Now, they're also saying that they're going to tweak the boss difficulty, and they're going to do this, they're going to be tweaking it through starting this crusade so that event progression is more attainable. I think that's good. I think it's good that they're recognizing that they went way too far with this change. But what are they going to do? Like, how can they possibly make this better while trying to balance with the fact that people are going to have the 6-star ultimate forms just by buying their way, and they're going to just walk through this entire thing? It's going to be boring for them, right? And this is the reason why this is why they made it harder. This is why they made the boss health higher. So I don't know where they can actually tweak the boss. If they don't tweak the health of the bosses, but they only tweak how hard they hit, then it isn't going to be that much easier for any of us who don't get the deck. All right. And so that is the reality of where things are. And to me, I think that progress has effectively stopped for me ever since this new generation came out. I was really hopeful for changes that would make it easy for people to make progress. But at this point in time right now, my progression stopped as of the last event in the Generation 3 event. And so where I'm at right now is I don't have any other ideas to help people who don't have these cards. If you don't have an old Generation 3 card, you shouldn't even bother with these events anymore. You just can't compete. If you don't buy into the current event deck to supplement the fact that you don't have a past event hero, then you shouldn't even compete, right? This game has come down to, at least in the last event, it came down to 3 things. Number 1, do you have the current event deck? If you don't, do you have a past ultimate form that has the right killer skill? If you don't, do you have at least the cards that are in the same affinity that is hopefully an ultimate form that can give you a lot of power gems? If you don't have any of those 3, then this game isn't going to be for you anymore. This event isn't for you, and it wasn't for me last event. So I barely competed. I did what I could to stay in the Emperor League, but moving forward, unless they address these 2 most critical things, ability for us to actually get something useful quicker, and also a way for us to be able to compete, because right now everything is going to be just that killer skill. This past event, it was nothing but immortal killers, and it's boring. It is extremely boring to have all of these bosses come on, and the only thing that can deal any damage to them is anything with immortal killer. I don't know why they decided to go with this direction. Even frenzy bosses went into unless you have everything immortal, you can't do anything. They were off affinity, and they were still only immortal killer bonus, right? So that's the one thing I forgot to mention. It's now very one-dimensional. Right. The game has moved to a one-dimensional sort of game where you just focus on the one killer skill and that's it. There's nothing else, no strategy involved whatsoever. Progression is dead for any of us who don't pay a lot of gems. And so what do you have left? A very unfun event and a very unfun game right now at this point. So while the changes are good, and I'm still going to sort of like continue to push them to make these changes so that it's better, I feel like it's starting to get too little too late. They need to start ramping up the changes that they make to the point where it's playable for those of us who don't actually have a chance of getting the current event hero. They need to start thinking about what it means, what this game means. for players who are coming on and they want to have fun without breaking their wallets. Right now, they are not catering to that, and I think all of us understand that. So it's a matter of, do you continue to support this? And so for me, this event was just, if I had to give it a letter grade, this event was a solid D, right? Only because there was frenzy bosses and there were some abilities for us to go into the eternal bosses that we can make some progress. That is not a complete fail. But my thing is just like, on the rating of, A to D and an F being a complete fail, I'm just gonna skip E. I think it's at the bottom of the event for me. Whereas all the past events prior to this was a good solid F, right? They have been failing. They have been failing at making this a fun event, fun game so far. And this event, slight improvement, but we're looking for this to be an A event back when it was fun. Back when it was fun to compete, back when it was fun to spend, when it was fun to collect the heroes, and it's fun to be with our guild mates and our friends to play. Right now, it's not in a good place. So that is, my review for this game, for this event. I will come back. I will be back to do a preview of the next event because I want to know what this update is going to be like. But probably it won't be until after the event starts because I won't know what the event's going to be like. And just looking at the cards isn't going to help because we're not going to be able to get them anyway. And so look for my update when the event actually starts. I can take a look to see how they've tweaked the battle skills, the difficulty of the bosses, so I can make a better assessment as to how well they're doing. But I'm going to transition more into these reviews for Legendary at this point. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. Hopefully, if you have any feedback, any thoughts, comment down below. Let me know what you think. We will continue to try to improve this as best as we could as players. So thanks a lot for your time. I'll see you next time. Take care.